Imagine a demon so evil even hell didn't want it. And you have to be pretty evil even for hell to want you. The oldest demon that hell did not want is, I'm gonna spell it as Belial. Is one of the oldest and darkest names in demonology. Unlike the fallen angel who rebelled, Barry never fell. He was never part of heaven's order to begin with. Too chaotic for the structure of hell, too ancient to be contained by documents. Baal is the authority that answers to nothing. Answers to nothing. You have to be a pretty badass damn demon that even hell fears you and don't want you. Whoa. Let's go ahead and get to the video, shall we?
Order. Thrones, hierarchies, laws. Even the devil answers to something. But there is a name that predates. A presence older than Satan's crown. A force that corrupts. Ancient texts call it lawlessness. Kings felt it behind their thrones. Prophets warned that when it rises, truth collapses and power rots. This is the demon, too evil for hell. If you too are a force that corrupts, check out Pantheon, our brand inspired by myths, legends and folklore. We ship worldwide and are rated excellent on Trustpilot. Link in the description. Belial. The term comes from the Hebrew Belial, meaning without a yoke. In its earliest form, it was a judgment. It described a person who had rejected all forms of law, covenant, and restraint. One who had thrown off the moral structure and would not be brought back under it. Throughout the Hebrew Bible, the phrase sons of Belial appears as a label for those beyond redemption. But even here, Belial is more than a metaphor. He moves under the surface, nameless but present, the force invoked whenever society fractures from the inside. In Deuteronomy 13:13, the sons of Belial are men who rise up in the community and lead an entire city into idolatry, turning the people away from the covenant, inciting them to worship alien gods. The penalty is total destruction. The city is to be razed, its inhabitants killed, wealth burned, its ruins left forever. In Judges 19:22, the sons of Belial surrounded a house at night, demanding that a male guest be handed over for sexual abuse. When refused, they abuse and murder a woman instead. The crime triggers one of the bloodiest civil wars in Israel's history. These men are described as something lower than human, an infection. In Samuel 2:12, the sons of the high priest Eli are called sons of Belial. They steal from the sacrificial offerings, sleep with the women who serve at the tabernacle, and show contempt for sacred rituals. These acts directly provoke the downfall of Eli's house and the collapse of Israel's priesthood. In each case, Belial doesn't appear as a figure, but his presence is everywhere order fails. He represents the collapse of a covenant. The world is an accusation, one that marks you for destruction. As the centuries passed, the accusation took form where once people were considered sons of Belial, something began to answer. In the dry caves of Qumran, buried beneath centuries of dust, the hidden theology of a forgotten sect was sealed away. When the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in 1947, they revealed a worldview unlike anything in the canonized Hebrew scriptures. These were the writings from a people on the margins, convinced that the world had been overtaken by corruption and that the end was near. The authors, likely members of the Essenes, a strict apocalyptical sect that withdrew from mainstream Jewish society, believed in a universe divided between two absolute forces, the Prince of Light and the Angel of Darkness. They were ruling intelligences, commanders, and for the angel of darkness they gave a name, Belial. In these scrolls, Belial has become a sovereign, a being with authority, a throne, and a clearly defined role in the fate of the world. The most detailed of these visions is found in the War Scroll, which lays out a future apocalyptic conflict between the sons of light and the sons of darkness. It's a war manual, complete with formations, trumpets, banners, and phases of battle. At the head of the sons of darkness stands Belial, commanding both human armies and a vast host of evil spirits. These include lying prophets, corrupt rulers, traitors within the covenant, all under his direct control. He's order corrupted. His kingdom mirrors that of righteousness, but its purpose is inversion, deception, and collapse. Other scrolls go further. In the community rule, the entire human race is divided between two lots. One walks in the spirit of truth under divine guidance, the other is handed over to Belial. His followers are described as spiritually deformed, unable to see, hear, or speak rightly. Their condition is the work of Belial, who blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the path of justice. In these texts, Belial is also linked with a figure known as Mastamah, the angel of hostility. In earlier apocryphal books like Jubilees, Mastamah is granted permission by God to test, deceive, and destroy. The scrolls inherit that, but refine it. Here, Belial becomes a parallel authority, the enemy of justice itself. He's permitted to act for a time, but what separates Belial from other iconic deities is he's allowed to govern the wicked, to rule over a system that must be exposed before it can be destroyed. Unlike Satan, who retains some function within judgment as accuser, as adversary, as rebel, Belial is outside entirely. He consumes the unworthy. He operates a form of evil that is fully systemized, fully conscious, and fully organized. A kingdom of darkness with its own order. And with that, the curse becomes a crown. The word becomes a ruler. The name becomes a throne. Belial rules, and what he rules is everything that cannot be saved.
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible. Or vibe coding meets drag and drop freedom. We'll see about that. All right, let me try to make up a site to sell some, theoretical Sambucha kombucha. Make me a site about Sambucha kombucha. Make it look nice and pretty and highlighting the product. Refine my prompt. Okay, let's do that. All right, that's so much better. All right, generate my site. So now Arya, my AI assistant, is planning things out.
In the grimoires of medieval Europe, he returns as king. Inscribed in Latin and bound in books that promise power to those who dare to call him. Among these texts, one stands above the rest, the Lemegeton, or Lesser Key of Solomon, a foundational manual of demon summoning compiled between the 17th and 18th centuries. The first section, known as the Ars Goetia, lists 72 demons said to have been bound by King Solomon himself. These spirits are catalogued with precision, each with their title, appearance, and abilities, and number of legions. Belial is one of the highest ranking. He's named as a mighty and powerful king, created immediately after Lucifer. He commands 80 legions of demons. The grimoires describe him as appearing with the grace and stature of a ruler. He comes as a crowned figure, regal and composed, with the calm presence of one who expects to be obeyed. Some sources say he rides upon a chariot of fire, before others describe him seated, speaking with clear and commanding voice. He arrives as power made visible. But this power doesn't come cheaply. The Goetia warns that Belial will only speak the truth or remain loyal if offered a proper sacrifice, a gift, a promise, or an offering of blood. Without it, he deceives, manipulates, and destroys. He grants titles, favors, and positions of power. He's said to elevate individuals to dignities, reconcile enemies, and redistribute influence across courts and kingdoms. His power is transactional. He gives because he can, not because he must. Among the hierarchy of hell, he is placed alongside other great rulers, Asmodeus, Beelzebub, Haemon. But Belial's rule is different. His authority isn't based on obedience to Satan or Lucifer. His position is his own. He is the throne. Summoners fear him for this reason. They call upon him for influence, but treated him with suspicion. He was known to lie, known to corrupt, known to turn rituals back to their casters. Unless compelled by specific ceremonial protections, Belial would act according to his will, and his will was rarely aligned with those who summoned him. In the Goetia, there are demons who teach philosophy. Others reveal treasure, command weather, or offer secret knowledge. Belial offers something else: authority without allegiance. He rules without chains. He ascends without loyalty. He gives power, but never gives it away. In these texts, the ancient accusation has become a king. The angel of hostility has become a patron of dominance. The force of lawlessness now speaks in legal terms: binding contracts, negotiated offerings, signed pacts. Belial is negotiated with. In the ancient world, demons brought storms, sickness, temptation, but Belial's power runs through governance. His territory is systems. He appoints, he rules, and what he rules is corrupt authority. Across centuries of demonology and esoteric theology, Belial emerges again and again as a force behind regimes